Okay, I'm Jackie Miller, and I've always been a writer, going back so many years. And those of us that are over maybe 30, we know that, remember the diary with the key, right? That's what I had growing up. So it's the same thing for you young people as a journal. We called it a diary. And I always wrote in there, and there was a way to escape some of the issues that I was experiencing. I grew up in the projects, Robert Taylor home, so of course everything was going on, right? And then I lived in what I consider a dysfunctional home, an alcoholic. My father was an alcoholic, so I went through a lot of things, and this was a way that I could escape by writing out my thoughts, my anger, my pain. That's what I did. So as I got older, I would continue to write, and then some of my friends, once they had problems or issues, because they knew I had gone through a lot of things, they would always ask me questions about how do you do this, or how do you do that, or what do you think about this? And I've always been one of those spiritual, as we call it, some people call it, where I believe in praying about everything, and I believe in having faith, that this is the way that we get through the problems that we go through. So Determined to Break Free is my first published book. I've written two others. One is Do Not Judge Me, I'm No Different Than You. And it's about the things that I've gone through, and to let the other person know I go through problems, I have issues just like you do. So please don't judge me just because I tell you this is my story. And then there's another one that I've written. It's an instructional guide to living your best life ever. It's like a motivational, encouraging, inspiring, that encourages people to do the best that you can in life. Get everything that you can out of it. And when you mention that you think it's about giving back, that's what I teach, because I'm also a college professor, and I teach my students that we're here to serve, and it's about giving back. Everything that you have on the inside of you, it's our responsibility, I believe, to give back. So this is a motivational, but it's also biblically based. I have scriptures in it, and it's a 52-week weekly devotional. And every week there's something different that you can read a scripture to go along with it. There are exercises in here where you can just write along with what it is that you're thinking, or what you think of the actual week that you are reading. So what inspired me, just people in general, my church, my family, my friends, they're always saying, you should do this, you should do that. And that encourages me to do, and that's my daughter. She really helps me so much. She's the graphic designer. She did all of the graphics, or she did all the work. Everything that you see, she puts me together, and she keeps me together. She's also my photographer. She's my web developer. She did all of those things. And when I see my children doing those things, it really inspires me, because I think that we all as parents should lead by example. And if our children see us doing great things, I think they'll be inspired to continue to do great things. So again, it's really my heart, because it's my first. I self-published. I did my research on publishers, and I couldn't afford them. I really couldn't, but I knew there was something that I wanted to say. So I did a lot of research on self-publishing, and that's what I did. Got my daughter together. I had someone to do the editing for me. She did all the work, and then my youngest daughter, she did proofreading. So everybody was doing their part, and that's how I was able to get my first book published. And it took about, I was subbing in the high schools at one time, and for those of you that know anything about substitute teaching, we have a lot of free time, right? So while I was sitting there, the kids were really doing their own thing, and I would just write. 1 week at a time, I would just write during that time. And I think I finished writing the 52 weeks. It may have been maybe 4 months at the most. And then we started going through the process of getting it edited, looking for publishers. And there were friends that I had who had bad experiences with publishers. So I felt like, okay, I can do a lot of it on my own, because that's what I do. I'm one of those, I'm always talking, so that's what I do. And I've been very successful so far. I had a book blessing at my church, and I had a book signing, and these are just the things that, or it's just the beginning, and I just know that there's so much more in store for me. I've been approached about having it translated into Spanish and also French. One of the ladies at my church wanted to take it into Paris, France, and put it in a bookstore she's opening over there. So I consider all of those things a blessing, but I also feel it's my way of giving back some of the things that I've been blessed with. Okay, so that's just my story. And one of my favorite, and this has also blessed quite a few other people. How many of you know that life is just like a game? It's a game. I believe it is. And I compare it to a basketball game. And I believe that we have to put certain things in play so that our life can be blessed and go in the direction that we want. And I'll explain to you what I'm talking about. The Determined to Break Free is a weekly devotional. There's 4 parts. One is about, who do you say that you are? Who does God say that you are? Who does God say you're not? And then what is it that you need to do ultimately to live a fulfilled life? So those are the things that I teach in this book, or the information or the advice that I give. But one of the weeks is entitled, I'm a Winner. So I'll just read a little bit of that. And it says, have you ever sat and watched a professional basketball game? If so, you know how important it is for each team to win. The same strategy should apply to life. It should be equally important to you that you win, and you win big, because your life is definitely worth it. So then I have a scripture, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials in various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And that's from James 1:2-4. Life is like a game, and you've got to put your best players up to make sure you win every time. This will teach you how to keep working hard on accomplishing your goals, knowing that eventually the hard work will pay off. And then, so you will, I assist them in setting up a team, a basketball team. Faith is the point guard, and I compare it to the players that are on the floor. Faith is the point guard, and it leads the way. Although you may not be able to see exactly where you're going, you've got to trust God. And then I have another one where determination is the shooting guard. No matter how long the process, it's the best shooter from long distances. If you are determined to win, when you fall down, you'll get back up. When you fall down again, you'll get back up again. And then I have peace is the small forward, because it is very versatile. It will keep you calm regardless of the obstacles that come your way. Then I have prayer, which is the power forward. Because its primary job is to fight under the net and to get an opening for an easy layup, it opened doors that may have been closed to you in the past. In other words, things that seem impossible become possible with prayer. And then the final one is patience. It's the center. It is also considered long-suffering. It teaches you to remain still and calm. Because if you do, it will block anything that comes your way that does not line up with your purpose. It knows that eventually things that you've been praying for will manifest themselves in your life. And then I also give thoughts to ponder. This one is to be a champion. You have to learn to handle stress and pressure. But if you're prepared mentally and physically, you don't have to worry. And that's by Harvey Mackey. And then I also give weekly exercises that you can do based on what you've read. So that's my story. And I'm so excited about being here. Thank you.